Traveler of a Century is a kind of 19th century novel rewritten in a contemporary style. That's the main idea. It's a love story between two translators who, when they meet, they don't know the other is a translator, and they begin to translate each other, the gestures, what is the meaning of what they said. So they become involved in a relationship in which love and translation is the same thing. Translating is a matter of love, and love is a matter of translation. And in this context, the reader begins to know the imaginary city in which everything takes place. It's a city called Vandenberg, and it's like a Calvino invisible city. It's kind of metaphorical place that tries to sum the meaning of Europe. It's a novel, therefore, about the identity crisis of Europe too. Well, my idea was that, on one hand, I admire very much the 19th century tradition and those masters like Tolstoy, Flaubert, Esa de Queiroz, etc., etc. But on the other hand, I obviously think that we shouldn't imitate the masters, but we shouldn't either to choose between just imitating or refusing them. So there could be a balance. And I had been really interested on brief novels, very fragmentary books. I have written aphorism, short fiction, and suddenly said, you know what, we're losing this slow pleasure for big structures, the deep psychological characters. So I said, well, maybe there is a way to do the attempt of writing a more classical novel, but using those postmodern resources of changing of style, using fragmentary resources, changing from lyrical parts to narrative parts. So we could say it's like putting an helicopter inside an old carriage, you say?
Yes, yeah.
And see what happens. Maybe the carriage start flying.
Okay.
I'm never happy with the result of a book, and that's why I keep on writing. I think the unsatisfaction and the unhappiness with what you've done is what leads you to the next book. So I'm happy to fail. But yeah, that's it. I keep trying. But I'm glad with the word experiment. If you add the emotion, the moving feeling. I mean, again, we have a false dichotomy here. First dichotomy was, well, you want to be classical or postmodern, which is false. And now you have to be experimental or moving the reader. Well, why don't try both? So I think it's an experiment in the sense of mixing contemporary and classical 19th century resources. But I think it's mainly a love story. So I hope it's a warm experiment, and I hope to keep on failing, of course. Well, I think it's more important to lose an award than win an award, because it's more real to lose it. So it's a kind of accident when you win an award, and it's very good because you have to survive. So it's good to go to the supermarket and have money. Yes. But still, I think that again, writing is more related to failure than to success. What to do with our failure is that what art is about. But I was very happy when I was included in the Bogota 39 group that you mentioned before, because this was a group very composed by very different writers. I mean, we weren't a group that claimed a fixed idea, but we were gathered by critics and readers, but we didn't know each other in many cases. So it was a very mixed group. I had the privilege of testing and reading the translation, because obviously I couldn't have translated by myself, but I quite understand the English when I read it. I was close with both of them, Nick Castor and Lorenza Garcia, and it was an amazing experience to feel that the book was being rewritten. And well, Nick Castor is a very prestigious translator, I think, here in English, the English-speaking world, and he has done an amazing job, very fluent, very smooth, and I had the chance, you know, to give an opinion to small details, so it was like a job, a team job, and I'm particularly happy with this English translation. I'm very proud of what Nick and Lorenza did. Well, I think that the designer deserves a credit, because he has done a beautiful job, I think, with the cover, you know, getting a balance between fantasy and concept, you know, the literary part and the commercial part. It's a cover very well done, I think, and it was his idea. And we were in touch too, and I want to thank Pushkin Press for allowing me to bother the designer and giving my opinion constantly, which was very annoying, I suppose. Yeah, because I think literature doesn't end with the manuscript. So I'm very excited when I can take part of the process of the object and the translation and the aesthetic of the cover. Those details are part of the literary meaning of the book, and I enjoyed so much. I mean, my hidden aim, my hidden desire would be to be a publisher, but I know to be a publisher is a nightmare. So, so I can't be a writer and a publisher. And these little details in which I take part allow me to feel a bit part of the publishing team, and for a person who loves books, what could be better than, you know, take part of the whole process?